Welcome back. Now, it's normal for us all to get a little forgetful as we get older, but for some people that can signal the start of something more serious. Alzheimer's is a disease that affects thousands of people in Scotland, and it can have a devastating effect on those living with it. Our reporter Amy Dunsmuir has spent the morning with one couple who are learning to cope with the illness.
The diagnosis was absolutely astonishingly dreadful. One of the worst days of her life.
For James and Margaret McGinty, their lives changed forever 3 years ago when they were told that Margaret had developed Alzheimer's.
Margaret spent 18 months going through a series of memory tests and psychological assessments. And when we went to get the results, there was a doctor there that we'd never seen before. And he said, "Do you know why you're here?" And Margaret said, "Well, I've been getting tests, so I presume it's the results." And he said, "Yeah, you've got dementia." And I said, "What do we do now?"
A lot of people kind of try to hide things. I don't. If somebody asks me a question, I tell them what it is and as it is. And that's it. If they turn away and say, "Oh, better keep back from her, I might get a smit," I say, "Well, fair enough, because that's just the way they are." And I just accept that that's the way things are maybe going to be for the rest of my life.
The diagnosis was just the start of a long battle for the pair. Living in England, they were away from family, friends stopped calling, and there was little support available. But after a move back to Paisley and an introduction with Alzheimer Scotland, things changed for the better.
I go to a peer support group where I can talk to other carers and share experiences. There's social events that we go to together and just chat to other people. But the one that's made the biggest difference for Margaret especially is singing memories.
Yeah, I like that.
We go there every week and we just sit and sing some of the old songs and it brings back wonderful memories.
The McGintys are just one of the many families supported by Alzheimer Scotland. This year, to mark World Alzheimer's Day, the charity have produced a special coat featuring their own tartan to highlight that this devastating disease can affect anyone.
The tartan, the tweed, the lace, everything in the coat all signifies memories and heritage. So we didn't want to just create a typical tartan coat. We wanted to have something that was almost a museum piece that can travel around the world. And we've already had a wonderful response to the tartan. We've received over 15 badges from Alzheimer associations across the world to pin onto the beautiful jacket that we've created.
Like a cookie.
For the moment, life for James and Margaret continues as always. But like thousands of other families living with the disease, they know that time isn't on their side.
When that deterioration starts to happen, I know in the back of my mind that there's going to be some very difficult times ahead. And it's really just a question of putting that off for as long as we can. It is inevitable, but for the moment, I'll be smiling again in 10 minutes. Yeah, it's not something that we're prepared to think about and deal with, but it's something that I know we are going to have to deal with at some point.
I'm the type of person that I just accept. If somebody says, that's what's wrong with you, I just accept it and think, right, what steps do I take now? And if I take the wrong steps, I just hope that somebody else will put me in the right direction again. I just laugh it off because there's nothing I can do about it. Nothing anybody can do for me about it either, because it's there, in there, somewhere.
Well, today on World Alzheimer's Day, it's an opportunity for the medical profession, policymakers and those living with Alzheimer's to come together to raise awareness of the condition. With me in the studio tonight is Anna Devine and Arlene Crockett from Alzheimer's Scotland. Thank you to you both for being here. Arlene, let's just start a bit by explaining about the condition. What's the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia?
Alzheimer's disease is a form of dementia, so what we would say to people who ask that question is that dementia is the umbrella term that informs different types of dementia. So Alzheimer's disease is the most commonest form of dementia across Scotland. We are called Alzheimer's Scotland Action in Dementia, and that's around, as I say, Alzheimer's being the most commonest form of dementia across Scotland. Is
this a problem that's going to get more and more common and deal with as Scotland's population ages?
I mean, what the evidence suggests is that people with dementia, the numbers at the moment are at 90,000 people across Scotland, and that number is set to double in the next generation. So in the next 15 to 20 years, we could be seeing at least 180,000 people living with dementia across Scotland. So yes, the numbers will increase as time goes on.
Anna, we know it's all about raising awareness, particularly today. We saw that amazing tartan coat in Amy's report there. Tell me a bit about the significance of it and what went into it.
Well, it was important to us that when we were developing the tartan that we took into account heritage and memories, because these things are really important to people living with dementia. And it was also important to us that we kept the tartan woven in Scotland, and it was a real collaborative exercise between ourselves and the Scottish Tartan Authority, and just we wanted to create a really significant piece that could travel around the world. And as you've seen in the film, we've already received over 15 badges from countries around the world to say that they're with us, and we can use the tartan as a symbolic image, if you like, to connect other countries around the world.
So that global approach is really important?
Yes, yeah. I mean, we share good practice with other countries and Alzheimer associations across the world, and we come together, through seminars and conferences, and research is, if any research ever brought us a cure for dementia, then that would be shared worldwide. So obviously using the tartan, tartan and Scotland have that huge connection, and it's recognised across the globe, so why not use it to reach out to our partners across the world.
So how's Scotland perceived around the world in terms of support, treatment and research?
Yes, I have to say that we've had a few world firsts in terms of what we do around dementia and Alzheimer's, and we have a number of foreign visitors that come over to see what we're doing. I mean, we really are very innovative in Scotland, and we're the first country, for instance, in the world to offer a guarantee post-diagnostic support for people living with dementia, so that they have, for 1 year, that support from a trained link worker around coming to terms with their diagnosis and taking their care forward.
Arlene, we saw Margaret and her husband there, others living with the condition. What help is available to them?
Mm-hmm. Well, you've seen the couple at our new Dementia Resource Centre in Bridgeton, which we officially opened on Friday of last week with the Glasgow Provost, Sadie Docherty. So these resource centres are a really good opportunity for people with dementia to be part of their community and to actively be supported by their community. So the resource centre will provide a range of activity of a therapeutic nature, so things like dementia cafes, where people, the gentleman mentioned good peer support, so people can be supported with a range of support within that cafe, either by people living with dementia and their carers or from trained staff as well. We have things like football memories groups, we have other reminiscence materials, and also music's a really good therapy for people with dementia, as the gentleman also mentioned. So we run things like singing groups and musical groups, really to get people involved and engaged and have that reminiscence element attached to it.
It does look like there's fantastic support available for people there. So what's the message today that you want to convey on World Alzheimer's Day?
Well, as the number of people living with dementia in Scotland and around the world continues to increase, then please, engage with Alzheimer Scotland. We're here to support people living with dementia, and the more people that, come to our charity and invest in our charity, the better support we can provide to people living with dementia. We don't want anybody to face dementia alone.
Anna and Arlene, thank you both very much for joining us.
You.
Remember, get in touch with us if there's a story you think we should know about in your community. You can contact any of our reporters by Facebook or Twitter, and of course keep up to date on the STV News app. That's it for the moment. From all of us here on the STV News team, enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye for now.